Here are 50 amazing facts to blow your mind. A Texas woman found out she had a felony charge against her in Oklahoma by accident when she got married, after a VHS was rented with her name when she lived there 21 years earlier and didn't return it. This explained her own mystery of having troubles with employment during those years. The Robert Frost poem, The Road Not Taken, was originally written as a joke and is a criticism and deeper analysis of the idea that taking the less traveled path can improve one's life. On one occasion, Jeffrey Dahmer accidentally consumed the drink laced with sleeping pills that was intended for his guest. When he awoke the following day, he discovered that his potential victim had stolen several items of clothing, $300, and a watch. He never officially reported the incident. I wonder why. The Flying Dutchman's legend origins have nothing to do with piracy, Caribbean, or the North Atlantic. It was first recorded in the late 18th century near Cape of Africa, then a Dutch colony. Eminem once turned down a joint tour with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg that would have been worth $110 million collectively. He said no because the lengthy tour wouldn't allow him to see his daughter Haley for a long period of time, and he said, "I just don't want to go on tour and come back and Haley's grown." Until 2012, Swarovski contained up to 32% lead oxide. Canadian residents can request one flag that's been flown on Parliament Hill, but the waitlist is over 100 years long. Disney has a code word for when guests attempt to scatter ashes at one of their theme parks, a white powder alert. The Feast of St. George is a holiday in which Palestinian Christians and Muslims participate at St. George Monastery. Traditionally, the entrance of the church is guarded by Muslims who welcome pilgrims. In Germany in 1923, $1 reached 4.2 trillion German marks conversion and had a 100 trillion note that was issued. The University of Miami's football team is named the Hurricanes, and its mascot is an ibis, due to it opening its doors for the first time after the deadly 1926 Miami hurricane. The scarcity and high demand for sand has fueled a dangerous black market for illegally mined sand, often associated with organized crime and violence. DC planned to make their first black leading superhero the Black Bomber, a white bigot who transforms into a black superhero under stress. Comic historian Don Markstein later described the character as an insult to practically everybody with any point of view at all. A man named Walter White was on probation after being arrested in 2008 for trafficking meth, manufacturing and possession of a controlled substance, and possession of precursor materials. Going back to making drugs, he was on the most wanted list and arrested in 2012. Alan Moore's Watchmen comic series was originally set to utilize characters from Charlton Comics such as Peacemaker and Captain Atom. In fact, the original name of the Watchmen series was called Who Killed Peacemaker before the character was ultimately replaced by the comedian. Braille has an invisible character, basically the space of Braille. It's called the Braille pattern blank, which represents a Braille cell with no dots. Unlike a regular space, computers treat it as a real character, so people sometimes use it for quirky tricks like blank text. Taking regular breaks from screens can reduce eye strain, improve focus, and lower stress levels. The American Academy of Ophthalmology recommends limiting screen time and following the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds to protect eye health. The Roman Emperor Claudius from 10 BC to 54 AD is the last person known to have been able to read Etruscan language. Only after changing the title from Rocket Boys to October Sky in the movie adaptation of the 1998 book did they notice it was an anagram for Rocket Boys. The director called it cosmically inspired. The first telegraph wasn't electric, it was optical. The Chap telegraph was used extensively in France from early 1790s to the invention of the electric telegraph in the mid-1800s. Stevie Ray Vaughan's favorite guitar, which he used on all of his studio albums and referred to as his first wife, was purchased from an Austin, Texas pawn shop in 1974. The guitar was pawned the day before by future acclaimed yacht rocker Christopher Cross. Most Americans wear glasses, in fact 63.7% of adult Americans. That's 166.5 million people. In most countries of the world, house owners outnumber those who rent their homes. Germany and Switzerland are among the exceptions to this trend. Weimar Republic's official name was German Reich, and only got its famous name retroactively from the German leader of World War II who called it so. Researchers documented 34 instances of purported prey sharing between orcas and humans from 2004 to 2024. In total, 18 different species were offered by orcas as gifts, and in almost every case, case, the orca appeared to wait for a response from the human. Then it either recovered or abandoned the gift. Vietnamese revolutionary Le Duc Tho became the first person to ever refuse the Nobel Peace Prize when, in 1973, the prize was jointly awarded to both Tho and US Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. Engineers at Apple spent years trying to fix the Apple Newton because of the Simpsons' Eat Up Martha scene. In the song The Lion Sleeps Tonight, the word Awimaway comes from the Zulu language in South Africa and was originally Uwimbawe, meaning you are a lion. Mikel Prasic was a Czech man who made headlines in 2018 after a cyclist collided with a lioness he was walking on a leash and was mauled in 2019 by a lion that he kept in his backyard. Werner Herzog and Errol Morris once planned to dig up Ed Gein's mother's grave to see if he stole her body. Morris backed out. The Mishima incident was on 11/25/1970, and the Japanese writer Yukio Mishima and his militia entered a military base in Tokyo, took its commandant hostage, and tried to get the Japan's self-defense forces to restore national defense and the emperor divinity. After this failed, he committed seppuku. Some guests of the windiest city on Earth can reach Category 1 hurricane speeds. And a Richter set was used to build the precursor to the modern artificial heart. The longest insect dormancy, the yucca moth larvae, metamorphize after 20, 25, and 30 years in diapause. The first photo of Earth ever taken from the moon in 1966 wasn't planned. While scouting landing sites, the controllers noticed a perfect view of Earth rising over the horizon and adjusted the camera on Lunar Orbiter 1 to capture the moment. This predates the more famous 1968 Earthrise from Apollo 8. Machiavelli, prior to being exiled from Florence, was arrested and imprisoned for 3 weeks on treason. Not only were the charges false, the only reason why Medici government suspected him in the first place was due to his name merely being on a list of supporters. The Hodges meteorite that hit Anne Hodges on November 30th, 1954, making her the only known human to be injured by direct impact with a meteorite, was used as a doorstop for a while, as the Hodges couldn't initially find a buyer. Since 1972, at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or MIT, every spring, residents of Baker House drop a piano from the roof on Drop Day, the last day students can drop classes. In Suriname, people speak an English-based Creole dating back when Suriname was part of England called Sranan Tongo. The language today adopted words from languages of cultures people came in contact with, like the Dutch, Chinese, and Javanese. As some people age, their vision can appear to improve, especially if they were mildly nearsighted. In 2018, Zamira Hajieva became the first person in the UK to be prosecuted under an unexplained wealth order. It was designed to stop fraud. Her husband had been accused of stealing up to £2.2 billion. During the trial, it came out that she had spent over £16 million in Harrods. At the 2012 London Olympics, 4 women's double teams were disqualified from the tournament. 2 South Korean teams and 1 each from China and Indonesia were trying to deliberately lose games to get an easier next round. They were serving into the net and out of bounds to ensure they lost. Poe's law states that you can't tell if a post online is serious or satirical without something to indicate the tone of voice, such as an emoticon or tone indicator. It was coined on a Christian forum during a debate on creationism. In 1964, Joe Bonanno plotted to assassinate the leaders of the American Mafia Commission, the board of directors of organized crime. He would fail and be stripped of leadership. McDonald's tested an early version of its Playland, later rebranded Play Place, at the Illinois State Fair in 1972. It featured playground equipment with McDonaldland characters Filet-O-Fish Fountain and singing wastebaskets with signs reminding visitors to feed them. Georgia Governor Eugene Talmadge was elected for a 4th term in 1946, but died before inauguration, triggering the state's infamous 3 governors crisis. There were some ancient Hawaiians who did not believe in the Hawaiian pantheon. An example of ancient atheism, they were referred to as Aya. 23 states and Puerto Rico maintain their inactive state guard, a state right established in Title 32, Section 109 of the United States Code. In the 2009 to 2010 English football season, convicted fraudster Russell King tried purchasing Notts County FC through Munto Finance as part of a scheme to list a fake mining company on the stock exchange. In Madagascar, it was once common to ingest fatally toxic nuts as trial by ordeal. At times, it accounted for a significant fraction of overall mortality. But that's it. Leave a like on this video because it really helps me out, and be sure to subscribe because you won't want to miss the next video. And thanks again for watching. See you guys in the next one.